And do you remember Christian Saucier, the U.S. Navy sailor who tried to use Hillary Clinton as a courtroom defense? Saucier was sentenced to 1 year in prison for using his cell phone to take these pictures in the classified engine room of a nuclear sub. Now, those pictures are now declassified. Saucier's lawyers argued that what Hillary Clinton did was far worse, and Secretary Clinton received no punishment. Christian's mother, Kathleen Saucier, and Christian's lawyer, Greg Rinke, both go on the record. Good evening to both of you. Kathleen, first to you. Why do you think your son got treated unfairly?
Well, it seems to me there's a clear double standard. I think he was treated unfairly because his name is not Clinton.
And the judge said what? I mean, you raised it in court. What did the judge say?
As far as what the judge said, the judge stated he felt that my son had no intent to do any harm, that he had made a mistake as a 22-year-old young man, and that he offered the least possible sentence he could under the charges that my son was facing, which was mishandling classified information.
Greg, this is a young man, a sailor who, from all accounts, was looking forward. He was very excited about being in the military. He was inspired by 9/11 to serve his country. When he went into court, the federal prosecutor, wanted him to get 5 or 6 years. He only got a year. Do you think that there's a double standard like his mother, that since Secretary Clinton obviously didn't get charged, and this young man he pled guilty, he's got a year in prison?
Yeah, absolutely I do. I believe that the Justice Department is politicized in this country, and you know, if your name is, if you're powerful and you have a name recognition, you're not going to be prosecuted.
Kathleen, were you questioned during the investigation?
Yes, I was.
And what were they asking you about?
Actually, they were implying that I was a co-conspirator to take photos and sell photos to the Russians, at which point I actually laughed during that part of the investigation, because I've spent probably the last 25 years of my life devoted to community service, and particularly the last 9 years to military and veterans, and it was far from the truth. And they weren't willing to listen at all to any documentation or evidence that I had to show such, that I was not in any way involved in that. And at that point, that was when I also recognized that this was something a little bit greater than my son taking 6 photos.
You know, Greg, when you listen to this story and you look at this young man, and you look at the allegations, I think the mother's, doing something sinister as well. What was with this prosecution? Did they genuinely believe this? I know you say the Justice Department is politicized. Were they just gunning for them, or just unfair? What's your overall thought?
I don't really understand what took the prosecution so long in this case, and also the fact that the Navy declined to prosecute this case. The Assistant United States Attorney in Albany looked at it, and we believe they declined to prosecute it, and yet the Assistant United States Attorney in Connecticut took it. I don't really understand why they were so hard-pressed to go after my client. Clearly, he was not a spy. These photographs were taken 7 years ago by a young man who was looking to take photographs to have some mementos that he could show his kids where he worked on the sub. So I really don't have the answer to that.
Kathleen, Greg, thank you both for joining us. Obviously, I know it's a tough time for your family, Kathleen.
Yes, and I would like to just say one last thing, Greta, to get it in. If I would gladly sit in the front row of a presidential debate and look right at Hillary Clinton while she tries to explain to the American public why she's not held to the same standard that my son, a United States Navy sailor, is.
Thank you both for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.